This is Kev Millar from the 2004 World Champion Boston Red Sox, and you're listening to Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media.
What's up, everybody? Spike King here, and Joe Stafford with another episode of Boston's Big Three. I have no idea what episode. I think we're on 38 right now. Episode 38, Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media and sponsored by 1 in 100. And just like always, Joe, we got to go with the 1 in 100 little intro. 1 in 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, musical festivals. That was terrible. Music festivals and more. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite events has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket into the draw, and you could be the lucky winner. I cannot wait till I stop doing this because I'm not used to hosting every single time, every single day. Tyler Miller has this locked down. But 1in100.co, you know they support us. They're the reason why we're here doing these things, and they're the reason why we're here for day 3 of the Combine. So yesterday, before we get into it, we also got to give a shout out. We're at Bazy's Downtown Grill in Colts country right now. Greg, the owner, let us in a little bit early, gave us a little shit about being Pats fans and coming from New England. But it's the hospitality out here, football fans looking out for each other. So we got to give a shout-out to Bazy's Downtown Grill. If you ever come to Indianapolis, hey, they have the All-Star game coming here next year for NBA. If you ever come to a Colts game, you come right here. It's right down the street from Lucas Oil. You can see it right outside. So got to give them a big shout-out there. But yesterday was day 2 for us. We ended up seeing the running backs, O-linemen. We didn't really see O-line. We saw some of them. I think we saw some of it. But running backs, O-line, Joe, I know absolutely nothing of what's going on here. I'm just faking it till I make it. But I'm going to hand it off to you. Give us a little rundown of what you saw yesterday. Who's your winners? Who's your losers? And more specifically, if the Patriots are looking for a running back, who should they target? Because let's just say James White, I believe, is becoming a free agent after next season. They could be getting rid of Rex Burkhead. Really, all you're going to have left on the team is Sony Michel. So is there going to be someone that the Pats might be eyeing in this upcoming draft?
I swear to God, that 1 in 100 jingle is like our new slogan of this podcast. Yesterday was a great day. We went to the convention center early, saw the defensive lineman do some bench press. Talk about that a little bit later. And the running backs and offensive linemen. O-lineman went first. A couple shout-outs before we get into the running backs. Cesar Ruiz and Tristan Wirfs just blew me away. Great mobility, great posture. Their footwork, unbelievable. I think Wirfs actually ran a sub-5 40, which is really, really crazy. 4.8, I think. So just shout out those guys. I can't really analyze those guys because offensive linemen want to care about the skill positions. The skill positions you guys actually care about. Yesterday, running backs went. Disappointed J.K. Dobbins did not perform at all. He chose by choice to not participate in the Combine. He's a top 3 running back in this class. I really wanted to see him. Disappointed we didn't see him. A lot of running backs did shine yesterday. A guy like DeAndre Swift, he's the number 1 back in my class right now on my board. Really unbelievable. Ran a 4.49, I believe, which is much faster than I thought he would run. Looked great in the drill, especially in the pass catching portions of the drills. He's still my number 1. Stock is up and on the rise for DeAndre Swift. A couple under-the-radar guys I saw yesterday. Joshua Kelly, UCLA, ran a 4.5 flat. He's projected to go somewhere in the 4th, 5th round. Combine definitely helped him. He had quick feet, aggressive runner, definitely a guy who initiates contact. And running a 4.5 when you initiate contact instead of juke, huge, 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 huge. I cannot. Huge. It's going to be huge. No, but seriously, it's just something scouts love. So keeping an eye on Joshua Kelly. A guy out of Maryland, Anthony McFarland, ran a 4.45, and the thing that caught my eye the most, his hesitation move. They had these bag drills where they had to do quick feed, and then juke Darren Sproles, actually ex-Charger running back, or another guy. And this kid has an absolute unbelievable hesitation move before his juke. He fakes the guy with his head and his eyes and just pulls his hips back, and just absolutely ruins whoever's trying to tackle him. An absolute nightmare in the open field to tackle. Keep your eye out for the Patriots specifically to target him in the 5th, 6th round. Maybe even get him on the podcast. I actually talked to his agent this morning. Hopefully we get something going. Ride the Wave's always making moves. Always making moves. Homegrown BC boy A.J. Dillon balled out yesterday. A.J. Dillon ran a 4.53, much faster than I thought he would run. I was going to be happy anywhere between low 4.6, mid 4.6, maybe even a high 4.6 for this kid. This dude's calves are bigger than Babs' head. It's literally unbelievable to see this guy run. Not the quickest feet yesterday. Obviously, he's a bigger guy. He's 250 pounds. But he showed a lot of promise. I think he improved his stock tremendously. He's a top 8 back for me now. Might even make the top 6 after the combat performance he had yesterday. Jonathan Taylor was the star of the day. Absolutely unbelievable. Back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons to end his career at Wisconsin. He ran a 4.39. 4.39 for a running back is unbelievable, guys. Running backs run usually, a good running back score for the 40 is a mid 4.4. He ran a 4.39. That's receiver-type speed. Showed unbelievably quick feet. I was just overall very impressed with his performance yesterday. Needs some work receiving, but that's not his role anyway. That's not what he did in college. He bounced around and did a lot of different stuff, but receiving wasn't really the number one thing he did. So can't really knock him for that. Number 3 back for me right now after yesterday. I was disappointed with Tony Jones, kid out of Notre Dame. He looks sluggish, honestly. That was the word I wrote down, and the word I used to describe him was just sluggish. He ran a 4.69. I was expecting him to run a 4.5, low 4.5, and he almost runs a 4.7, and that was really disappointing for me to see. Sloppy footwork. I think his feet was just a little bit too slow for his body, and you saw it. He stumbled on a couple of the drills, Babs. We saw it when we were watching the combine yesterday. It was just really, really saddening. I think he's going to drop probably – now I'm thinking to the 5th round, and he was really a 3rd round, 4th round guy before the combine. Maybe his pro day fixes that. We'll see. But overall, great day for the backs. Number 1 guy, like I said, Jonathan Taylor, absolutely was unbelievable yesterday.
I'm going to go on top of that. Like I said, I really have no idea what the hell's going on at the combine except like quarterbacks. Like that's it. But again, it's been very educational for someone like me I'm a casual fan when it comes to the college players and some of these guys. I don't do my research the way I should and the way you do it. I just stream my head off in front of a phone. I've said that so many times. But Jonathan Taylor is just somebody that you look at compared to all the other running backs out there, and you know that he's something special. Like, he is going to be a franchise player for one of these teams down the line. I can see that right now. And you said he was a runner-up for the Heisman, or he was in the earlier this season. Yeah. Okay, so you can just tell. Even you're saying he's not much of a pass catcher, but he still was making very nice grabs across his body and everything like that. So it was great to see that. Who do you see the Patriots taking realistically, maybe around? I know it's super, super early, but what do you think going forward for Patriots?
Like I said earlier, a guy like Anthony McFarland, who's not getting a lot of attention, maybe getting attention after the combine, but he's a guy that's under the radar a lot, ran much faster than he was expected to. Great hesitation move, like I said, quick feet, something Belichick really values. Earlier, you said White's a free agent after next year. Rex Burkhead's injury prone and is a free agent after next year as well. Sony Michel had an off year, but maybe some good news on the way. David Andrews actually might be cleared before the season. There's some rumors on the Twitter sphere this morning coming out with that. You can't really trust Twitter, but I'm hoping for it.
He's his friend.
Yeah. So we're hoping that that goes along well for Sony Michel. But if not, a guy like McFarland's a guy they can target. Another guy under the radar that I loved yesterday, Joshua Kelly out of UCLA. 4.5 flat, like I already talked about earlier. A guy's probably in the 5th round, 6th round. Patriots have a lot of 5th and 6th round picks this year. A lot of moving, mobility in those later rounds. Kelly's definitely a guy to keep your eye on.
Yeah, running backs is not the top priority right now going into this season, next season, whatever you want to call it, for the Patriots. They have a lot of other needs right now, but it's absolutely something to keep an eye on going forward. Just wrapping up the running back talk. Anything else you want to say or add to that?
Just one more thing. Zach Moss, I put him on my top 4 players to watch before yesterday at the Combine, and he really disappointed me. He ran a 4.72, which was slower than some of the tight ends that we saw earlier in the week, and that was just really disappointing. I know he's not a fast guy to begin with. He's not a speed guy at running back. He's a between the tackles, hard-nosed runner, downhill runner. But at the same time, he looked lighter than I thought he was when he was playing at Utah. I didn't see his combine measurements in his weigh-in and everything, but just visually looking at him at the combine, he looked much lighter, and he ran a poor 40, which is bad for his stock. He's a top 5 running back in this class, but after yesterday, it's going to be some questions coming up about Moss's durability, I think, and his overall, production in the NFL. If he runs a 4.7 240, he had quick feet, granted, on some of those drills. I think the weight loss actually helped with that, but overall, just unimpressive. And I was expecting a lot more from Moss.
All right, so now to give my perspective on things, that's the running backs. That's the recap right there. You got it from the man, Joey Subway, Big Joe Burrow over here. Joe Namath. If you have the name Joe, you're a big deal. That's why. So you're the big deal at Ride the Wave here. So I'm going to talk to you now more about the fan perspective. Yesterday was day 2 for us. We got in line about 5 o'clock. They let people in about 5:30. The line was a lot shorter yesterday to go in. Like I said, they're trying to make the Combine more of a fan-friendly type of atmosphere. So day 1, they had you walking on eggshells. You're not supposed to be talking or yelling or doing anything while they're doing the 40s. And then after the 40s are over, they encourage people to start, cheering and this and that. But no one really wanted to do it because they didn't know what was going on. This company that's working for them on camera auditions, it's their first time doing this. It usually is 1 iota. So yesterday, they were a little bit more laid back. They let us in about 5:30. We knew exactly where to go. They had things a little bit more structured in there in terms of they had gates set up and everything. Definitely get there early if you want a good spot, because we sat front row. We had a front row seat up in the 400 so we can see everything. Because once it starts piling in, I think there was more people there yesterday, it felt like, about 1,500 people there sitting up in the stands. Quiet during the 40s. But then when Reggie Wayne got on in between commercials to talk with us in the headsets, he said, hey, make some noise and everything like that. To even the point that, I'm talking here. I know you want to grab. I'm talking here. You're not going to grab the mic. That's why we need a separate mic. You'll get that sometime. So I just want to go on that and say that Rich Eisen made comments about it. And then, Mark Ingram was absolutely funny. I think he was electric. And I leaned into Stafford, and I was like, oh, we should yell out Big Trust. And then someone actually did it behind us, and he laughed at it. So it yesterday started opening up the fans to the Combine of hearing that. Players probably like it to be encouraged. It's something different, funny. But the scouts probably absolutely hate it.
You stole my story. I was going to go to a Big Trust story. We're literally sitting there, and Mark Ingram's talking, blabbing away. He was really funny yesterday. And then a group of kids, I think from the Jacksonville area, actually, just got up out of nowhere and just screamed Big Trust. And then midway through, he's on broadcast. He's on the simulcam with NFL Network. And he just stops the broadcast and just looks up at us and just screams back Big Trust and couldn't stop laughing. That was probably the funniest moment of yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good time. I definitely felt what they did yesterday. And like I said, going into this trip, and I showed you, and I've talked about this numerous times, I'm a fan of the game, like that crazy. We saw people tailgating before the Combine yesterday, and they were crazy. The Cheesehead, Cincinnati Bengal, Colts, they had a Buffalo Bills fan. That's what the NFL kind of needs for the Combine, because these players are going to start getting used to that and seeing that. I think that's cool. And again, this is their first year where they're trying to open that up, and they're just going to learn from that. And I think over the next couple of years, we'll see what happens. Also, an interesting tidbit, because we're here at Bazy's Downtown Grill, and the owner, Greg, was talking to us about the Combine, Super Bowls they had there. This is, I didn't know this. This is the 3rd largest city for conventions, so they always have people coming into town. He said there's talks about the Combine going to L.A., going to the new stadium out there. Also, another thing to note is that these Combines have been going a little bit later. They end at 9:30, 10. You've seen me. I've been wiped out at the end of the day. I get so tired. It's been long days. But it's interesting to say that, because they can push that over to L.A., different time zone. So that way it's still wrapping up 5 or 6 o'clock, but on the East Coast it's wrapping up 9, 10 o'clock, whatever it ends up being. So just something interesting to note right there as well.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to say another story. I feel like Babs right now. It's Babs story time. No, it's Staff story time now. We were talking to the owner of the bar before they opened, and another owner actually walked in. A guy across the street owns a bar. And he was talking to us, and apparently Carolina Panthers' new coach, Matt Rule, walked in and just started slamming fireball shots. Just started slamming fireball. And I'm pretty sure this was during the Combine. So he went back buzzed to the Combine. Not a great look for the new Carolina coach.
Yeah, that's not a good look. If you're out here, you're on business, but at the same time, they're trying to let loose a little bit. But it is funny to hear those little stories that go on as well too. So, shout out to Indy. You get to come out here and have a good time and. It's long days. It's long days if you're some of these coaches and you're some of these scouts. It's long days for us, and it's like you start at early in the morning with media, and then you're ending all the way to the end of the night, 10 to 11 o'clock. You have to break everything down and get ready for the next day because you have a whole new slew of guys you got to pay attention to. So it's just been pretty interesting altogether. Moving forward, yesterday, you might have saw Babs on the bench press. I killed it, absolutely, nonstop, putting it up and down. But yesterday, we got to see the bench press. We only got to see one group go by. It was the D lineman. Chase Young didn't do it for personal reasons. I booed him, made sure I boo him on that one. But that was interesting to see because you're sitting with the fans. I would say there was about 300, 400 people around, and it's cool because when they're trying to get it up and everyone's cheering, you get that adrenaline going. Like we said going in there, if you don't have Turk, the Turk put up, 26? 25, okay, 25. If you don't get more than Turk, you're a loser. And that actually happened to some of those guys. Some of these guys come in, they're big, beefy, they get slapped across the back. They're just let's go, and they put up 20, But the big winner yesterday on the bench press, and I know you're going to get into that, and in terms of bench press, you can get into the D-line because that's what we're going to see today. So you can talk about that. But I believe it was Willie Keys. What was his first name? Kevin? Kelly? Kenny? I'm close. I'm close. So we can he put up a 32, right? Yeah, so he had a very wide grip on that, but he put up 32 and looked pretty good. So talk us through the bench press, what you saw, what you expect today. I'm sure today what's going to be interesting is Young's going to be in there just like Burrow. He's not going to do anything. Said he's not doing – I don't even think he's doing a pro day or anything. So he's not going to be doing anything. He's going to be standing there. They talk a lot about him. So why don't you talk a little bit about the D-line, what you're going to see.
Yeah, no, shout out Matt Turk, too. I just had to do it one more time. 25 reps as a punter is unbelievable. Defensive lineman, if you did not hit 25 and a punter did, you must be feeling really shitty about yourself right now. I would be feeling like a huge blow to my ego if I didn't put enough up than a punter. But a lot of guys went on the bench yesterday. It was really cool. We had great seats. We came early, and we had a great view. We actually live streamed some of the events. A couple of guys stood out. Like we said, Willie Keys just out of nowhere. Michigan State kid, number 48 out there. Played a lot of different positions over his college career. But 32 reps, got slapped on the back beforehand. He walked up to the guy, and he's like, yo, slap me. He turned around and just absolutely wailed on the guy. But no, it was cool to see that up and close. It was interesting to see just some of those guys do bench, like a guy like AJ Epizenza, a guy out of Iowa. I think he put up 26 reps, better than a punter at least. No, but these guys are really impressive athletes, just being able to put that weight up. I don't think you guys realize how much 225 pounds is, and to put it up for that many reps in a row is just ridiculous. I don't think I can put 225 up once. Yeah. Obviously, Babs did about 35 reps of it yesterday because he's superhuman. But besides that, the weight that these guys are doing is unbelievable. But I want to transition a little bit now. I feel like Tyler Miller right now. Transition more into what we're going to see today. I'm not a bully. I don't have a big head either. Transitioning into today, linebackers and defensive linemen are going today. A few guys to keep your eye on. Patrick Queen out of LSU, silent a sideline linebacker, probably running around a 4.4. I'm expecting a 4.4, 4.5 out of Queen today at the 40. The agility as a linebacker position is growing. You see guys like Miles Jack. You see guys out of Tampa Bay like Devin White even. He went top 10 last year. These fast linebackers are the new wave in the NFL. Deion Jones even. Maybe even Jamie Collins. We kind of started the trend in New England. They're very valuable. They can play in coverage. Keep your eye on Queen today. Run a fast 40 and excel in these drills. A guy like Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons is an unbelievable prospect, top 5 talent in my opinion. I'm hearing some rumblings around the draft with some scouts that the Giants are going to take him at 4 if they don't trade down, which I think they will trade down. But if they stay put at 4, they're taking Simmons. And there's a reason why. He started at, I think, 5 different positions last year at Clemson. He played at inside linebacker, outside linebacker, free safety, strong safety, and slot corner, edge. He played everything for that team and excelled in every single position that he played in. Simmons is a phenomenal athlete. I think he'll run a 4.4 as well. A lot of fast linebackers in this class. I'm a big fan of this linebacking core. Kind of top-heavy. Once you get out of the top 6 or 7, it starts to kind of fall down a little bit. But those top 6 or 7 guys are impact players and make starters in the league for a long time. Moving to the defensive line, a couple guys I want to shout out. Derek Brown out of Auburn, absolute game wrecker, can affect the game in pass rush or in run defense. He can play defensive end and defensive tackle, but he's more comfortable at the defensive tackle position, kind of like a Lawrence guy, utility guy along that line, except he's dominant. He's absolutely dominant anywhere he plays in the line. True game wrecker. I'm expecting him to go to Carolina if he slides that low, if they don't decide to move on from Cam Newton and trade up for a quarterback. But he's going top 10 almost guaranteed. And a guy I already mentioned, A.J. Epizenza from Ohio, I should say. He's a guy that can run off the edge, and he can absolutely disrupt games. Similar guy to Chandler Jones, but he's better at run defense, which is the one thing Chandler Jones lacks. More complete player than Chandler Jones, but that's my NFL comp for him. Game record, like I said, going to get a lot of sacks his rookie year. I'm expecting probably 10-plus for anybody who drafts him. I'm thinking around Seattle, around that 25, 26 range for him, but whoever gets him is getting an absolute dog.
Great bit. Great breakdown. I'm just so distracted because there's so much noise going on in the background, which is great because this is probably not picking any of it up. This is actually one. You know what's great? I'm just thinking, I'm going off the cuff now. It's great that we're actually here at Basie's Downtown Grill. We're able to do something like this, and I think you're going to end up seeing a lot more of this going over in the future. I'm just thinking in the future. I'm just letting everybody know what I'm thinking about right now. But just to wrap it up, man, we're not going to be here Sunday. We're leaving tonight. We leave tomorrow morning, but we're not going to be here for the final day. Is there anything else that you want to talk about for the next 2 days? I know we're going to have another one of these podcasts that will wrap everything up from what we saw for the entire week. I'm sure we're going to do that with Tyler and Brendan when the time comes, but closing comments from you.
Number one guy to watch tomorrow, unfortunately we won't be there, Jeff Okudah at Ohio State. Probably the best corner prospect we've seen the past decade. Just so complete, man, zone. Definitely better man than zone, but just an overall great cornerback can tackle as well. Safeties, Xavier McKinney. The Patriots actually interviewed him yesterday at the Combine. Devin McCourty's had retirement rumors for the past 3 years, and as soon as he leaves, his brother will leave. Jason McCourty will also leave. A guy like Xavier McKinney is a guy to keep your eye on, especially if he starts to slide towards that number 23 pick that the Patriots have this year. All-around safety, can play great zone coverage, something we need, blanket coverage to replace McCourty. We don't really need another I think we'll probably move on from the Chung role as we start to progress out of this era. We don't really need that box safety as much as we think we do. More the cover 2, I think we're going to start to transition to. But definitely McKinney, got to keep your eye on. And maybe even Grant Delpit, another guy out of LSU, another safety. Can play free and strong safety, but definitely a coverage guy more than a tackling guy. But those 3 guys keep your eye on.
All right. I have no responses to any of this, which is embarrassing but funny at the same time. My closing comments is this: I hope that we have a beautiful, fun day today inside Lucas Oil. This is a fun city. Somewhat in certain ways. The downtown area was nice. We went there yesterday. And again, like the NBA All-Star game is going to be here. We definitely want to come back here at some point. I'd like to come back to a Colts game and see that. It's a beautiful stadium inside. It's been awesome to hear some of these inside stories. Like I said to anybody, if you love the game of football like Stafford does, and like you see the way he's talking for the last couple of podcasts that we've done, the last couple of days, and you see some of his breakdowns, you definitely should take the time to come out to the Combine and see this. That's that side. As the fan side, and that's why I am, because I'm into the entertainment aspect of it, I think slowly but surely the NFL will get there towards the Combine. Probably, if they end up moving to LA, I'm sure they'll add a lot more to it. But it's still a nice, fun time to come out here. Mostly all the events are free if you pre-plan everything out. So today's going to be interesting because it is a Saturday. So it'll be probably a lot more people at the convention center. We won't be over there, unfortunately, today because it opens up at 2 o'clock. So we got to head into the stadium a little bit early. And then we're off later tonight to go home. But it's been a great time, man. Like, you survived, a couple days with Babs, which is absolutely surprising. We've been doing our own things and everything like that, and I just can't wait until we come back next year. We'll definitely be here 100% next year for the Combine. Maybe add a couple more people with us for Ride the Wave, and you just never know where we're going to be from there. So, any other closing comments, or do you want to just?
Shout out to the Babs casting couch in room 304 at the hotel we stayed at. Unbelievable. was truly an iconic image to see Babs just sitting on that couch. And even the podcast we did when he was in bed, just surrounded by Bud Lattes. Just unbelievable image, one I want to forget, but I can't. Seared into my brain. Thanks for following along with us. We had a great time at the Combine. One more day, like we said, we'll wrap it up tomorrow with one more podcast to recap what we saw. But, yep, that's it.
Awesome. We appreciate everybody that's listened in, those true people that have wanted to hear the in-depth analysis from you. Shout out to a guy like T-Guns that loves listening to you and everything that you've done. So, wait, are you going to come? Basie's been getting, come here. Basie's been getting love. No, this is like the overtime. Now, here, listen, you can have a little, here, talk it out.
Come see us down here, home of the Colts. This is Marcus. We're open 24/7 except for Sundays. All right.
You're not open 24/7. I had to knock on the door just to get in today. I had to knock on, yeah, she knows. She had to knock on the door over there just to get in. But I was told Basie's Downtown Grill, you're steps away from Lucas Oil. If you're here for if you're here for a convention, you're here for a Colts game, NBA All-Star game here next year. Hey, the Pacers are a playoff team too. The Celtics, the Boston Celtics and the Pacers could be happening. We never know. You guys got to get a hockey team over here too, an NHL team. That's next. That's coming up next. Thank you. No, thank you for having us, and thank you for everybody listening in. This has been Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media, sponsored by 1in100.co, and shout out to Basie's Downtown Grill. Downtown Grill. I screw up everything. Dito's gonna listen to this, and he's just gonna be, what are you doing? But we appreciate you guys. Take care. Ride